How's it going, everyone? This is Frank Cavone,
And I'm Doe Quimby.
and we are Kinda Live.
Kinda living.
This is episode 51 of the Kinda Live, Kinda Living podcast. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode. As all of you know, you can listen to the Kinda Live, Kinda Living podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can watch it on YouTube live like you are right now, and it always gets premiered the next day on Facebook. So what's been up? How you been, dude?
I've been doing pretty good. It's been kind of a slow week. It's fall in the Adirondacks, but definitely actually a lot more people this year. A lot of people from Long Island I've noticed have been up in this area, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, I haven't got the chance to go skating too much this week, but
Yeah,
I've been trying to take the camera out and take a few pictures, but
that's awesome, man. How's the experience of just using the new Canon?
dude, it's nice.
That's awesome.
To just really just messing around, just trying to get just fun shots, getting the focus all right, getting that background faded. It's a lot of fun. Gotta get the blur going.
Exactly. You're taking photos in probably the best time in the Adirondacks, and that is the peak of the fall foliage that we're having. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Where are some of the places you've been going to?
Just kind of around town.
Awesome.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But lake and all that. Trying to just encapsulate those mountains by the lake. It's perfect. It's perfect.
It is.
So especially just how vibrant all these colors from green to yellow, orange, and reds. I don't know. I feel one of my favorite shades is the bright orange, some trees.
Yeah,
get.
the orange trees definitely get you for sure. I honestly missed a lot of just the foliage just because it's just been so busy down here, and but finally went up to Monday. Went up to just go shoot some photos up in the area. Stopped by just some different parts of Lake George, and it was a blast. I really needed it just to get out. I don't know, just because it's just so growing up in Lake George, it's a really special part about being from that town is some of the things just environmentally that go around and
sure.
The area, and the fall foliage is definitely the topping on the cake.
Oh yeah, one of the best times of the year over there.
Definitely. The last time I shot fall foliage with my drone prior to this fall, I sunk my drone in the lake.
Oh.
As you can see, it was
Hey State Rat.
episode 2 or 1.
I think it was second.
It was the second. So yeah, basically my drone malfunctioned while I was in the sky, and just literally Doug and I were watching the battery drop, and just knowing that it was gonna sink. So I'm sitting here on my phone trying to download all the stuff I shot, and I actually do have the last shot I ever took from that. It was a depressing time, but then the DJI Mavic Mini came out. I was able to save some money, get a drone, and yeah, the fall foliage just been great. What have you been doing with the photos? Just are you putting them in Lightroom?
Straight up Lightroom.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, big fan of that, but I just haven't. I don't really get past that. I forget to upload them a lot.
Hey, that's all right. Honestly, letting them collect and just looking at all the photos that you do have after taking a bunch of them, it is cool to see as time passes by what you did. And,
very true.
That's what's great about the party cam, as we call this compact camera that is just. I honestly got for if I wanted to shoot a concert that I didn't get a press pass for, and that was honestly
breaking the law.
You're at this show, you don't get the press pass. Bring the pocket camera.
It's a fun little camera though. It's great.
It is, and there was some good stuff on there. Honestly, there's some everything from my grandmother picking apples to us probably having a little too much fun. Just silly things. It's the party cam. But no, that's cool, man. So just enjoying the fall foliage and just hanging out, and that's it.
Working, yeah.
Awesome.
What you been up to, man?
Honestly, it's been actually a pretty mellow weekend, especially rolling into this week. It just it's nice to kind of cool down from just I don't know. I was going crazy every single day doing work and just the moving process, and it was just I don't know. It's been good, man. It's just we went to New York City, Mickey and I.
Nice.
It was a great time. We just got to show her around and checked out some landmarks. Went to Central Park, and ended up. Obviously I had my camera on me, and we were walking by this guy playing guitar, and I stopped to take pictures of him, and he was asking me why I'm taking pictures. I told him I'm a photographer. I shoot concerts, and I didn't want to give him the whole spiel, but I would just tell him what I did, and
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, you want to play? Well, he's like, do you play? I was like, yeah. He's like, you wanna? I was like, okay. So he handed me the guitar in the middle of Central Park, and I mean, there wasn't like a lot of people, but it was like, you know, passerbys, people sitting down, and like, I got to play AC/DC Bag and a little bit of Sand, and it was awesome. It was a really, really cool experience, and it kind of like makes me want to play guitar, like, I don't know, not
Out
just
in public.
just out in public. Yeah, just for fun. Like, you know, going to your karaoke, I want to go play open mic somewhere, you know, and I feel like I have enough songs now that I've been honestly singing and playing, and one song, Blaze On, I love the lyrics, and I don't know, when you go, I feel like that's like a song that's like about going through a lot of stuff in your life and screwing up. You know, if you screw up once, you're gonna do it 2 more times.
Yeah,
So you got one life.
a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, just some rearrangements of songs I have been playing in the past. But it was just cool, just relaying back to Central Park. It was just great to kind of get away for a couple of days. Although I gotta say that New York City is super hectic, as you know, and
Oh yeah.
I definitely didn't miss that. Not gonna lie. And but other than that, yeah, just went off, shot drone photos in Lake George area. It was fucking awesome.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and just I finally got this like little bit of a backdrop set up. Just some of my favorite shots I've ever taken. Just saying no to date as much as we can.
You gotta remember.
You know, Grateful Dead.
Got the old clapper.
The old clapper. Good times.
Got, of course, the action shots.
Yeah, gotta include Ramones.
I like
somehow.
it. It has a very nice vibe over here.
Yeah, it's alright. You know, Manila background. We'll have to do something about that. But yeah, I mean, not much news from the week, but I do want to give a shout out to of Clocks and Clouds. You know Clocks and Clouds. So they played at Disc Jam. They played at a few other festivals that we probably have went to. But they just released a Live from Nightlights Music Festival 2019 album, and the cool thing was about that, I think it was like 4 days before the actual before the festival, we did the Nightlights preview. We had just a festival organizer call in. We had the Salgo brothers call in. They got to talk to us about just their playing experiences and like kind of their growth, because they're, you know, their niche in the jam band scene is more a heavier side. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't really exactly remember what they sound like.
They were like they played
They're like
For
a little
Whom
bit
the Bell
heavier.
Tolls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, they're
That band
awesome.
was- yeah, those dudes are awesome.
You know, it's definitely hard, but like I definitely enjoy like a heavier rockin' jam band, especially like at a festival. Like,
Exactly.
You want to rage like.
And just a side note to the whole thing, just with agreeing with that statement, the Mac Miller tribute.
That was
yeah.
That was a great show.
You were
Great
really
performance.
looking forward to that.
I
right?
was. I'm really happy that I like kept looking at the sign, because I almost went to one in the middle of the night that didn't exist. I thought it said like 1 a.m., but it was like 1 p.m. It was like midday.
That's what happens at a music
You gotta
festival,
look.
I guess.
You gotta look.
But yeah. So what were some of your favorite songs from that?
I mean,
that, like as
Dude,
being
Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza, that
Yes.
was really awesome to see in person. They opened up with didn't open up, but they covered "What's the Use" by his one of his newer albums off Swimming. That was like really cool to see, and just like I forget exactly what. Maybe they played like outside, but like each one of the songs just sounded like perfect, and it was like just able to see that live, and like they had like a whole band doing it. Like I feel like with like hip hop music, I'm not really imagining like a whole band being able to play what the soundtrack is. So like that was really cool. It was definitely a really awesome tribute to Mac.
I'd like it. Biggest thing I took away from it was that, I don't know, when you're listening to a hip hop song, it may seem like it's just these processed beats that are going behind the music, but then you actually think about it, and in a situation like that, or I know you know a bunch of like a hip hop artists have a backing band, like, and it definitely it's the same thing completely.
And also, like, I would say a lot of, like, hip-hop, they kind of take from samples from, like, other songs, and, like, the songs they're sampling are, like, not always, but, like, old, like, live performances of, like, jazz and all that. So it's, like, it all is instrument-based at the end of the day.
It is.
But it's just something you don't really think about.
Not at all. But yeah, as just regarding Of Clocks and Clouds, go check out their new album, Live from Nightlights Music Festival 2019, on all their streaming services. They're literally on every music streaming services, so you can go check it out. Next, just another little news that I want to get out of the way. The Getaway, happening this weekend in Kent, New York. Club Getaway, October 17th, 2020. It's just a day music festival with Eggy and The Special, both awesome bands, both managed by the great Kevin Rondo from Jamflow Management. Eggy, definitely one of the a rising band.
Oh yeah.
And they've always been cool to us too. Like they let us interview them at Adirondack Independence Music Festival. Just I don't know, super nice guys. Shout out to Dan Robb. He really is doing an amazing job, especially with Eggy specifically. He's been with them guys for a long time, and they really have a lot of talent.
Oh yeah.
The Special just kills it. Enough said, you know.
Go on.
I mean, they played Adirondack Music Festival. We saw them there. Where else? Some private shows. They played Putnam Place. Yeah. They're definitely a little heavier, and they're just super cool guys. Shout out to Sean Beeman, the brother of the bassist of the band. He's just a super cool guy. Been just kind of an influence on the scene. It's awesome.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, for news, that's really all I have, man.
Yeah,
we do have a topic that we do want to talk about
Very
tonight.
true.
I can't believe we haven't talked about.
Yeah, no, it's kind of surprising. I mean, I feel like we mentioned it a couple times, but haven't really gone into it. But we want to talk today about how we actually got the skate park in Lake George, and kind of our whole journey and trek that led up to that. Because I mean, so in Lake George, I mean, at least 10, 15 years ago, I think we've been skating, at least I've been skating for 10, 13 years, something like that.
Yeah, I want to say maybe 2004, 2005 was the first time I was I want to skateboard.
Yeah. So it was basically just skating around the village ever since then, and in the summer months, basically between June to beginning of September, village, George Village, they have a lot of tourists, and we have peace cops that come.
Yeah.
And basically there's no skateboarding in the very main parts of the village where there is most of the spots. Not gonna complain.
Yeah, and just adding on to what Doug is saying, it is growing up as a skateboarder in Lake George, New York, there is not a lot of places to skateboard.
No.
So you peace cops definitely take a toll on where this conversation is going.
Yeah, because I mean, so basically, if you got caught skating in the village, say there was one time I was skating at the stage in Shepherd's Park with a whole bunch of kids actually. Me and this one kid, I forget who it was, we were playing skate, and all of a sudden we see a peace cop coming walking down the hill, and everyone kind of ditches their board. I kind of just stop and just stand. It's okay, whatever, and the peace cop came, took my board and just kind of walked away, which is something that would happen. You would, I think you got one, maybe 2 warnings, but
yeah,
you're doing it every year. They know you.
Exactly, and then you become friends with them weirdly. You're oh, you're a nice guy.
This guy.
Yeah, there was one guy. I think his name was Nick.
Maybe, yeah.
Black hair, glasses, young guy. He was really cool to us, but he had to put his foot down because he was just up.
Yeah. Understandable. But yeah, they would take your board, so you'd have to especially if you were underage or a delinquent like I was, you'd have to get a parent to come to the station to get your board back. It was just a whole ordeal. And but so basically we're just this is really annoying. We want a spot where we can skateboard just safely. You know?
Yeah. Now I remember on my 15th birthday, I got a skateboard for my birthday. I just couldn't afford one at the time, being in high school. And what ended up happening was I had this party at my house, just kid party, just whatever, not drinking and shit. And we decided to go skateboarding in Lake George Village, and then I ended up skating. This peace cop saw me, took my board, brought me to the station.
Oh my god.
I was like, what the hell? This is my birthday. I was like, all right, let me slide at least? Nope. He had to put his cripple hammer down on us, and yeah, ended up just spending an hour in there. I was really pissed, man. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, how are we getting in trouble?
Super annoying.
And there needed to be a change in our town, and there wasn't really anything happening. We had a friend by the name of Timmy Gooder. Shout out to Timmy. He was the one who got the spark going to let people know that we need a skate park in Lake George. And this was years before we tried doing this, and but he was definitely played a massive role in the whole process. Shout out to Timmy, and where was I going from there? But we ended up having to make a change, and the town started listening.
Oh yeah, and I remember in 7th grade we kind of had these like, they were called Act for Youth meetings, and basically like kids just go in there and like talk to these people about like what they kind of wanted in like the community or like school. And I remember like we had like 4 or 5 kids in there like every week, like, yo, we want a skate park, and like basically like, okay, so let's figure out how to do that. We're gonna need to like fundraise and like talk to like the town, the village, like all of that, like this is how we're gonna do that, and like like okay, like what benefits can this have and all that. So it was basically kind of like a learning course of like how we can actually do that. So like that kind of went on for like 2 years. We're able to have like a couple like town meetings where we like really talk to the community about like why we needed the skate park.
Exactly.
And all that.
And it wasn't like there wasn't other needs in Lake George Village. There was also, I think, 5 other concepts that people and groups brought to the town that they thought Lake George needed, like a lighthouse, which
an environmental group.
An environmental group. What else? There was a dog park was definitely on the list, which they ended up getting anyway. So that's awesome. But we ended up we're the ones that were able to kind of like follow what was going on. And as kids, we were in like 8th grade. You were in 8th grade. I was in 10th grade, and we're dealing with situations in our life that are a little more serious, and really are a test of how much do you want this. Yeah. And as a group of skateboarders, and this is something that is just in skateboarding and only skateboarders will get. When you try a trick, it takes 20 times. But you're always chasing the dragon with that trick. You're that much closer. You want it. You have to get it. When it comes to real life, I think a lot of skateboarders who think that are applying that to real life.
Very
and just
true.
Doing the things they need to do necessary to make what they're doing in their life better. And for us, at an early age, is trying to build a skate park, and now today is trying to build Mirth Films to the place we want it to be.
Yes, indeed.
And I don't think if we weren't skateboarders before this, I don't think that drive may have not been there.
Maybe not. I mean, that's where
That's how we know each other.
That's how we like started filming each other. That's why the camera just started was skateboarding. Like, you gotta film each other and your friends. You gotta make little skate parts, which is always a lot of fun.
It was, but there is a time now. Okay, there's a bunch of us skateboarding. We're getting in trouble. We've made the next step with getting through these trial town meetings, and out comes Act for Youth. Yeah. What is Act for Youth, Doug?
I think it was like this grant from like New York State to basically just like see what like the youth and like the younger generation really wanted like for the communities. At least that's from what I can remember. It was about that, but like that ended at the end of like 8th grade, and I would say like there was like a few adults like in the town, like one of them being Patricia Dow. Just saw that there was a whole bunch of kids that really wanted this and were really driven and like wanted to like do this. So 9th grade, you were in 10th grade, that's when we started having like actual skate park meetings. Yep. And we figured out basically like a whole different types of fundraisers we could do, like spaghetti dinners, coin drops. We had like an arcade fundraiser, video game fundraiser.
Tons. And there was a lot of people who played a huge part in it. My mom, your mom,
my dad,
your dad, absolutely, Mr. Q. Just Mary Singh Smith from Act for Youth, Bill Toscano, rest in peace. He was a huge voice for us, and he was a nice guy. And like, it was funny. Like in the skate plaza meetings, you would know the people who were serious and who weren't about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
You either came for the free pizza or you wanted a skate park. You know what I'm saying?
The pizza was tempting.
It was
very
tempting,
tempting.
like,
But like
oh.
that's how we kind of, because I mean we had like a few
Gotta
non-skater
reel 'em in.
people
Yeah.
who were like kept coming and would actually like really like help out and with like all the fundraisers and whatnot. But like I mean like it's hard to pass up that free pizza. But like it was for a good cause, you know.
It was for a good cause. And, I mean, it was a cool thing to have, just in our school and being able to do something like that. Like is skateboarding in high school, combine like things that wouldn't mesh.
It was perfect. Like even the vice principal was like really close to us. Like we talked to him all the time. He was very supportive of it.
Yeah.
So like yeah, so and basically like so we kind of like learned how to like basically like, write up like a business plan on like how to get like a skate park, because we were basically pitching it to the town. And like it kind of got to the point where even like the Mayor Blaze was like in full on support of us. He would help even like with his like own type of fundraisers and like put the money towards the skate park. Like that was really cool to see. And like I thought one thing that was really cool was like going through like the designing of it, like the designing aspect of it.
Yeah.
Basically like having like skate park designers like come talk to us, basically try to figure out like what we want, and then like go away and then send us back like 4 or 5 different like designs, and we get to like kind of like click through them and see what we want. Like that was like super cool, and like you know it's like really awesome to be able to like see something from like start to finish, you know.
Definitely.
But like it took a lot of years.
It did take a lot of years, and it was just, there was years where they were that it was just very active, just with the contributions being made by the people who were donating their time, and then there was years where just time slipped by.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was really based on, for me, like priorities in my own life. I don't know, a lot changes between the age of 16 and 22,
It
which
does.
was really the case, and we didn't end up getting it until November 2015. That was when I first laid eyes upon it.
Basically like
I mean,
6.
you probably can't see it too well, but like this picture means a lot to me. This basically, I drove home for fun to go skate the park and just like, I don't know, hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
Probably you weren't there actually.
Nope.
Yeah, you were in Vegas.
Yeah, I was in Vegas.
And but this drove home from Plattsburgh, went to go to the park. Right when I got there, huge rainbow over the park. Just like photography at the time was like really taking a liking on my just my hobbies, and I don't know. It was just really
everything
cool.
came together that day.
Everything came together, and but building up to that, there was county meetings that we had to go to, and what else did we? I feel like we had to do so much stuff that we were like pushed our boundaries and just becoming a human being.
Yeah, but I will say like thank you to Patricia, because she wasn't.
Yeah.
She was definitely one to be like, okay, like no, like you guys like really have to do this like on your own. Like they're not gonna hear it from like me. They're gonna see like you guys really want it, so you guys have to like really put in the work and really like push us in the right direction to do that. Yeah, like, and I would say like another cool thing that like really helped out was like a lot of demos. Like we had like St. Patrick Day demos, and like I know those are always fun because like we had those basically like, right outside of like Duffy's, where they would have like a whole block party, and like we would literally like get crowds of like, because we were just like a few kids just set up like a couple ramps, rails, and just like skate down by the lake. It was always like, I feel like the demos are always like a nice hit.
They were, exactly, because we got to just actually skateboard and have fun while, trying to raise money for the park.
And we also got to do it in places where we weren't really supposed to in like those times of years.
Exactly.
Like we had like demos at the Shepherd's Park stage where like most of the time, like if you're skating there in the summer, you'd get your board jacked or taken away.
And usually we would have a decent amount of kids who would come down, and that would really be kind of like how we would judge how many people are actually interested in having this, because at the time, the only park that was close to Lake George Village was Half Pipe Thrills, and if you really wanted to skate a good park, you'd go to the Shelter, which is in Albany. And if you're from Lake George, it's pretty far. 1 hour to go to a skate park. For a lot of parents, it's not realistic to take their kids to. And luckily, like I will say, I was definitely blessed that my dad lived down in Albany, so I was able to understand the Shelter skate park culture. But that was the thing. I had to come down here because I couldn't skate in my own town, So it's like you know,
It was odd.
it was odd, and you know, we got into it was just nonsense to have to deal with. And looking back at it now, there probably is some places in Lake George I would not ever skateboard again because of how beautiful the town is. But at the same time, you gotta, where are you gonna do it?
Like, yeah.
And when you have a bunch of empty hotels and, you know, a bunch of places to skateboard at, I'm just being honest. Like, that's what you end up doing.
Yeah.
And you don't think about it as, like, committing a crime. You think
not,
about
like,
it as
trespassing.
Yeah, you think about it as just skateboarding.
Like, oh, you have some stairs here. I'd like to, like, go over those for a little bit. Nothing else.
No.
Like,
it becomes your playground.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest stances that we had for just putting out the word that we needed a skate park was that there was basically a place to do everything else sport-wise except us.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like,
very true.
But it took time. It was like, between grants and how much money we had to raise to do it.
A lot.
It was a lot, and it was a lot of time though that we put into it. 8 years, and it wouldn't have happened honestly with a lot of key figures and just the support that we were able to carry.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of how many people were skateboarding in Lake George, between the time you were gone in Vegas and I was up at school, you know.
Like it really blossomed. Like I definitely feel like, I mean, our kind of like skate crew, it was like decently sized. I mean, a lot of kids didn't really stick with it. I'd say we're a part of like 4 or 5 kids that really stuck with it. But like now there really is like a whole community of like young skaters and scooters and even like BMXers who like go to the park or like go street skating now. But like it was definitely like, it was not a great place really for skateboarding, like without just not a lot of spots in Lake George. So it's like, it was really cool like to like, cause skateboarding does mean like so much to me, so much to us. Like it's such an amazing individualistic sport that like you can't just go do all by yourself and really learn a lot. So it's like really awesome that people can still pursue that in the town and not really be like harassed and have like the kind of bad negative stigma attached to it. But I will say, I mean, there has been graffiti at the skate park, which I mean, like, sometimes, you know, it's good, sometimes it's bad. I mean, I know we really want to get, like, actual, like, local artists to come and, like, spray paint the park and, like, do, like, really cool art sections. But, like, there's one person that came and graffitied up, like, basically, like, a lot of the park recently, and, like, it wasn't good. It was like, very amateur stuff. I mean, if you're gonna do that, like, do it right.
Do it somewhere else and
like,
try it.
Please do it somewhere. Like, test your.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of think about that, and then I'm like, well, you know what? These kids that are skating the park now. This is their time.
It really
Our
is.
time is expired,
Yes.
and like, so it's kind of like, do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
I don't know personally. Like, don't do anything super profane at the park, but it is just one gray glob if it's not, at least doesn't have some art on it. You know?
I mean, I'm all for some street art.
And
street art
since
cool.
then, we're still trying to keep the drive alive and just raise money for the second part and get kids interested who are going to be a lot younger than us, because the thing is, there's going to come a time where we don't have time for this stuff. And we need, the next generation to do something about it. And we do want to get phase 2. So once all this COVID stuff ends, then we can really get back to square one, kind of. But I mean, it's cool just seeing like some of the, I don't know if you can see it from the camera angle, but there's some just photos on the walls. Just some of the skate plaza competitions. I don't know, having a brand like Zoomies involved with it, which
really
was
awesome.
super cool, yeah. And even the first skate plaza where we did allow bikes and scooters.
That was a really awesome, and that was like such an awesome turnout too. Like a lot of people.
It was a lot, yeah.
A lot of people came to check it out, see what it was about.
Mayor Blaze was there.
Mayor Blaze.
Fucking man.
Yeah, and I remember we had like even like a BMX and like scooter sponsors there. I'm pretty sure.
We did.
That was really all the stops there.
That was cool.
But like I feel like it really is like a great addition to like George community, and like especially came at the perfect timing with like the whole redoing of Charles I. Wood Park.
Yeah.
Like, cause I mean, I remember skating there before that was redone at like, what was the name of it? Gaslight Village?
Well, it was Gaslight Village.
Village?
Gaslight Village by Action Park was within.
Yes, yeah. But I remember like we would break in and like skate. skate the like go-kart track, and like I'm pretty sure there was like one building in there that like may have had like a drop or two, just some flat ground, but like really cool that like they kind of redid that entire park, and like we're able to have like a little corner of it, a little skate park action. Like I remember the town meeting of when they were gonna like decide what was going there, because it was gonna be that or the dog park, so like we really had to like
Yeah, we had to figure shit out.
yeah, we had to talk some game and be like, yo, this is what we need. But like I think the dog park is perfect where it is. It's up by the transfer station, the baseball field.
Yeah, it's where the baseball fields where we filmed summer snowboarding. Parts of it. But yeah, no, it all worked out in the end.
Oh yeah.
We got Charles Elwood Park, which is a great venue space. I mean, we've done everything from classical music there to, Adirondack Independence Music Festival 3 years in a row.
We had Bone Thugs and Harmony there.
Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like, how crazy is that?
That was amazing.
It's like, who should we have? Bone Thugs. Okay, let's go.
All the way.
Hip hop and like some old school hip hop to like Charlie Daniels would be like the guy like the week before or something like that. But I was so bummed that I didn't make the Bone Thugs and Harmony concert. I was up in college.
I was at the Barnside. I was working that night.
You were working that night?
But like I remember going home and like seeing the whole stage set up. I was like, wow. Like I remember being like they had that stage like cranked. Like you could hear it at the Barnside.
Really?
Like you could hear Bone Thugs and Harmony throughout the entire village that night. Like what a way to open it up.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I mean, there's been a lot of great stuff there. I mean,
like even they have like the Jazz Fest there now.
The Jazz Fest, yeah.
Car show, they have like a whole bunch of stuff there. It's really a great spot. Like,
it is.
I like what they've done with the place.
Exactly, and hopefully it opens the doors to more and just more music, bigger artists, because it's possible to fill like 3,000. I mean, 80K Fest proved that.
Oh yeah.
But that whole area in Lake George, for those who don't know, where you can find the Lake George Skate Plaza and Charles Elwood Park, it's right off what street is it?
Westbrook.
Right off Westbrook Road that links to Beach Road, where you can see just the amazing Lake George steamboats, and you get to see the whole lake. That's a great thing about that spot. Is you're right in the center of the whole lake. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. And I also want to give a shout out to the town, because on the other side of Charles Elwood Park is like the environmental park, and it is amazing for photos. A lot of birds just go and sit on the cocktails. It just, you get a lot of action nature wise.
And I definitely really like how, especially because that is where the lake gets fed its water, so it's like really keeping in mind that like environmental aspect of like keeping the lake nice and clean and safe.
Yeah.
Like, and it's cool. It's like a little walkthrough, and like I'm pretty sure they have like little flags so you can kind of like learn about like what's going on over there. Like, they did a really good job redoing that entire area.
They did for sure. But yeah, I mean, now that's pretty much it. I mean, we get to go to the skate park. You're going to the skate park more than you have in a while.
Oh yeah.
Like that's awesome that you're still utilizing the park, and that's just it is cool to really just like drive by the skate park and see kids at the park.
Oh yeah, like it's a lot of fun, and like it definitely warms my heart to see that that's still like going on. Because I mean, I feel like definitely like there was like towards the end there, it's like okay, like we're the only ones that like seem to like really want, or at least would use the skate park. So it was like having that younger generation go out and like do their thing. Although I wish there was more skateboarders, but I'm not gonna hate on that. Scootering was a lot of fun,
Dude, there was a lot of scooter kids that populated our park, and it's. I mean, I don't approve, but have fun if you're under. If you're a certain age, and you're just like too old to be on that thing, just find the closest garbage can and just fold it up and put it there.
Or you can use it as an obstacle and skate over it. That'd be really cool. That'd be really. So
if you don't have a skate park, buy a scooter and a skateboard.
Or just a skateboard.
You kind of solved your problems temporarily. It's just whatever you ride on. Go to the skate park.
Check it out. It's good time.
Now, what have you been watching this week, man?
Lots of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh shit! Okay, I was not expecting that.
Deanna's been jamming on that, and I've never really watched it, so I've kind of just like sat down, tuned in a little bit, and like that show is funny and like really really good. Like not gonna lie.
That's awesome.
I've been watching that and playing Skater XL, and that's about it.
Is it feeling a lot
Keeping
closer
it
than
simple.
to Skate 2?
I like it a lot more than Skate 2.
Really? That's a big statement.
I've been thinking about Scared XL all day. Like, I really wanted to just like go back and keep doing like the challenges they have, because like they have you do like really like fun and different tricks that really like get you more into the game, and like it really like it does. It's a lot of like mental thinking. It's just like, okay, like if I'm gonna do like a kick flip, like tail side on this ledge, like a trick out, like I'm like, okay, I have to like line myself up with it, like try to get that perfect, like pop.
Just like on a skateboard.
Dude, yeah, just like skateboard, like pop. I got to flick right. If I like do a little swoop, like it gets all messed up. I gotta like turn to make sure I land on the ledge the right way and like pop before like then like it's very authentic to skateboarding. Like it's like I'm thinking like I am going to do like a trick. Like how do I do it? Figuring out like so much fun. I could play it all night. Like yeah, I really think you would enjoy it. It definitely takes a lot to get used to like the controller scheme, but like playing Skate 2 earlier, like it was taking me a minute to figure out how to like go back to that, like I really wanted to like turn with the triggers, and it's like that's not how this works. Nope, not how it works. But that's still a lot of fun.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Good.
What you been watching?
I'm getting farther into the just the whole Marvel universe.
Okay.
I got to see Iron Man 2. Well, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Avengers all this week. It was very awesome. I gotta say, my favorite out of all of those is definitely Thor. He's definitely my favorite. I like him the most.
What'd you like more, Iron Man 1 or 2? Like Iron Man 1, he was like in the desert, had to like create that.
I would say Iron Man 2.
Really?
Just a little bit.
That one was pretty fun.
I like them both. I don't know.
They're good movies.
Yeah, they're good movies. But outside of movies, just YouTube-wise, Squirrel Ride Jack, he's a reviewer of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, and he reviews old games. He's a cool guy. Definitely check him out. I just watched his review on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and he had some pretty valid points about the new game. I personally got to play it with my cousin, and it was awesome. It brought me right back to playing Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Honestly, it was the same.
Really?
To a T. Minus, like, doing those stupid-ass, like, cheap, manual tricks that it's like a handstand to a manual. That to, like, get a combo.
Spacewalk.
Yeah, a little spacewalk. Get it moving. Yeah, none of that. Just everything else but that. So it's cool. And all the levels are revamped exactly as you remember, plus a lot more. It's a good game for $40. Sweet. Definitely check it out if you love skateboarding or grew up in the late 90s and early 2000s and we're playing Tony Hawk games. Great. Out there, Eric Ellington. Eric Ellington just had a new documentary drop on Thrasher. Super awesome. The guy went from just growing up in Alaska, not really? Wanting to be a pro skateboarder. Alaska,
Where did they
his parents wanted him to follow his dreams, so they moved to Arizona, and there was a huge skateboarding scene there. He grew up skateboarding, ended up skating Birdhouse. He ended up skating on, where else did he skate for? Zero. He got his first pro skateboard on Zero, and then obviously started Baker, because that led to Death Wish. But it's cool to hear how he went from being in the Piss Drunks, which was basically this group of skateboarders that just raged it, and if you understand skateboarding, you know how Baker's culture is, and but it's cool to see how he got sober, devotes his life to his wife and his kid, and he's a super inspiration to me, and I definitely recommend everybody go check that out, because he's a fucking man, to a T.
Good job.
And then Beagle Tapes, also about Eric Ellington. Beagle Tapes, as you know, is if you don't know who Beagle is the legendary skateboarding filmer that Baker has, and he just has these archival tapes that he puts out on his YouTube channel, and they're super entertaining. And if you've seen any of the movies, you get to see some of the background of some of these tricks and how they went down. So Eric Ellington's switch backside Bixen over Carlsbad Gap
Oh.
It took him like 40 tries over like 5 days.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
a battle.
It's a battle. He he would literally like snap a board leaf
Oh my
next
God.
day. You know, like that type of crap. But jumping on to what I've been listening to, I've just been listening to a lot of Mo. I just got a good. I don't know. I'm excited about some things, and they're one of my favorite bands, so I gotta listen to them. And Alice in Chains, I've been dipping into them. They're one of my Aunt Bean's favorite bands, and I don't know. I like sometimes I'll listen to my Spotify on shuffle and like it'll play certain songs. So I went on a tangent, listened to them. Oddly, the School of Rock theme song I've been listening to a lot. Just because it is a rocking song, and Jack Black
Like the
is
one
my
with Jack.
favorite.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Jack Black.
He's a man.
I honestly I have 2 arrangements for Tenacious D songs that I learned
Okay.
that I want to play open mic with whomever the backing line is, but I don't know. Jack Black is so funny, and
He's the man.
and honestly their riffs are great. Like as dumb as you would think. The concept of Tenacious D is they're a great band and they make you laugh your ass off. So, go listen to them. And then Circles Around the Sun, rest in peace, Neil Castle. They just have a great album that they put out prior to him dying, and it's awesome. You would even like it. It's like jazz, but like at the same time pretty funky too.
Well, that would sound
And
like
not
2
just-
great things.
Yeah, jazz and funk, not bad. But what about you, man?
Listening to lots of podcasts. I've delved into Audible podcasts. I have like a couple like pretty cool ones. One's I think called High Strangest. Another one, Sea in the Sky. I'm really enjoying them because it's kind of like it's kind of like a story-based podcast, but they add a lot of like different like sound effects. So it's kind of like a movie. So it's been like really entertaining to be just like at work, but like really into the story and just like in my head about this like. Whatever story. One thing I will say, Audible, now that you have podcasts, let those things autoplay so I don't have to like stop every 15 minutes to like play the next episode. Like you got books, they go on to each chapter, I don't have to play like the next chapter. Like it seems like you already got the technology. Just like put it in there a little bit for the podcast, that'd be fantastic. Other than that, definitely like I haven't really been listening to too much music, maybe a little bit of classic like hip hop.
Awesome.
Monster Mash. I don't know if you've ever listened to that
The Monster
song.
Mash?
The Monster
Oh
Mash.
yeah, it was a graveyard smash.
Dude, that song is fire.
It is a great song, and honestly, it makes me really excited for Halloween.
Dude, it's coming up.
It's
It's
gonna be
coming
so
up.
fun.
And Spooky Scary Skeleton remix. I can't describe it, but like that's what like they were listening to in Monster Mash. If you're wondering.
Okay.
But
Good to know.
not too much.
Cool.
big
man.
podcast guy lately. Not too much on the music, but
It's different times. It
gotta do what
sucks.
you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But we just want to thank you all for tuning in to episode 51 of the Kinda Live, Kinda Livin podcast. Thank you to the 6-man who made this possible. Dylan has been on the back of the camera, switching the cameras, and just literally making our jobs and this podcast just a little bit better. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Thank you.
And as always, like I said, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook. Yeah.
All the spots.
All the spots. But thank you. Keep wearing your mask and have a great night.